money. It's everywhere. It affects all of us. And let's be honest, it can be pretty confusing, right?
Definitely.
We often think, that being good with money is about being super smart or having some secret information.
Right, like it's rocket science.
Yes, exactly. But what if it's simpler?
Mm.
And maybe more about, well, something else entirely. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the surprising truths behind big topics, really cut through the noise so you get properly informed.
And today we are diving deep into Morgan Housel's fantastic book, The Psychology of Money.
Yeah, this one's a game changer for many. Our mission today is basically to give you a shortcut to really understanding his core ideas.
We want to pull out those key nuggets, those timeless lessons about wealth and greed and, happiness too.
Things that might actually change how you think about your own money.
So the central argument, really, the heart of the book, is that doing well with money has surprisingly little to do with how smart you are.
Okay.
And a lot to do with how you behave. It's a soft skill, not a hard science.
Behavior. Interesting.
Think about Ronald Reed. He was a janitor, worked at a gas station.
Okay.
Died with an $8 million fortune. How? Just simple, patient investing over decades.
Wow, $8 million.
Yep. Now contrast that with Richard Hugh Scone, Harvard education, big shot Merrill Lynch executive.
That's impressive.
Totally. But he went bankrupt. Despite all the credentials, the income, bankrupt.
So the difference wasn't brains.
Not at all. It was behavior, purely how they acted with their money.
Okay, so if behavior is key, Housel brings up this other really fascinating idea. He says no one is actually crazy with money.
Right. This is a big one.
People do things that look completely nuts to us, right?
Uh-huh.
But Housel argues that from their point of view, based on their unique life experiences, those decisions make perfect sense.
Exactly. Your personal experiences, which are like this tiny sliver of all financial history, they can shape maybe 80% of how you think the entire world works financially.
80%. That's huge.
It really is. And it explains so much. Think about different generations and the stock market.
Okay, like how?
Well, if you grew up when inflation was really high, say the 70s, you're probably going to be pretty wary of bonds later on, right?
Right, because you saw their value get eroded.
Exactly. Now, someone born in 1970, the S&P 500 index went up tenfold, adjusted for inflation, during their teens and 20s.
Wow, okay. Big difference.
Huge difference. So they're likely to have a much more optimistic view of stocks than someone born in 1950, when the market basically went nowhere for years during their formative time.
That makes sense. Different realities.
Totally different realities. And Housel uses this to explain other things, too, like why lower-income households might spend more on lottery tickets.
Yeah, I remember reading that. It seems counterintuitive.
It does on the surface. They spend about $412 a year, which is like 4 times what the highest earners spend.
So
He argues they aren't just buying a ticket. They're paying for a dream, a tiny chance at getting, the good stuff that maybe higher earners already have and take for granted.
So it's buying hope.
In a way, yeah. It's understandable from that perspective, even if the odds are terrible.
Which really brings us back to needing humility, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When things go well for us.
Oh, absolutely. Humility.
And compassion when they go wrong for others. Because luck and risk, they play such a massive role.
A huge, often invisible role. Housel uses the Bill Gates example.
Right, the computer access.
Yeah, he had like 1 in a million luck attending one of the only high schools in the world then with a computer. That was crucial.
Absolutely foundational.
But then there's his friend, Ken Evans, equally smart, equally capable.
Yeah.
He experienced 1 in a million risk, died in a mountaineering accident before they could even start Microsoft together.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that part.
It just hammers home the point, right? Success and failure are never as good or as bad as it seems. There's always that element of chance. Okay, so understanding our own biases, one thing. But then Housel tackles this other major behavioral trap.
Which
the danger of always wanting more, that insatiable desire.
Ah, yes. The never enough problem.
Exactly. He gives some pretty stark examples. Rajat Gupta, former CEO of McKinsey, worth over $100 million.
Already incredibly wealthy.
Incredibly. And he risked it all, his reputation, everything, for more money through insider trading, ended up in jail.
Unbelievable.
Or Bernie Madoff. He had a legitimate, very successful business on the side, making tons of money legally.
Right.
But he still ran this massive Ponzi scheme. Why? For more. They both risked what they did have and did need for something they didn't have and didn't need.
That's a powerful way to put it. Risking what you need for what you don't. It's so easy to fall into that, though, that feeling of just a little bit more and then I'll be happy.
It really is. And Housel identifies a couple of reasons why. One is the goalpost moving problem.
Meaning?
Your expectations just keep rising faster than your results. You hit a goal, and instead of feeling good, you immediately set the next higher goal. Satisfaction never arrives.
Yeah, I can see that. And the other reason...
Social comparison, just constantly looking at what others have.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly, but on an epic scale now with social media and everything, the ceiling for comparison is impossibly high. Virtually no one will ever hit it, he says.
It's a race you can't win.
Precisely, like that casino dealer Housel quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Telling his friend, the only way to win in a Las Vegas casino is to exit as soon as you enter.
Huh. That's good. Stop playing the comparison
Stop
game.
playing the game. That's the only way to win. And this leads directly to maybe one of the most important distinctions in the whole book.
Okay.
The difference between being rich and being wealthy. He says, wealth is what you don't see.
Wealth is hidden? Tell me more.
Being rich is usually about current income. It's often visible, right? Fancy cars, big houses.
It's tough people show off.
Yeah. Like that story of the valet whose client's Porsche got repossessed. The guy looks rich.
But wasn't wealthy.
Exactly. Wealth, true wealth, is the opposite. It's income not spent. It's hidden away in savings, investments.
It's the financial assets.
Right. And what does that give you? Options, flexibility, the ability to grow your money quietly.
Freedom.
Freedom. Most people say they want to be a millionaire, but what they often mean is they want to spend $1 million.
Which, as Aovel points out,
is literally the opposite of being a millionaire. Wealth is built by not spending what you earn.
Okay, so wealth is unseen, built over time. Which brings us to compounding, right? This almost magical force.
Yes. Confounding compounding, as he calls it.
Why confounding?
Because our brains just aren't wired to intuitively grasp exponential growth. Small gains, repeated over a long time, lead to results that seem impossible.
It doesn't feel dramatic day to day.
Not at all. He says you don't need tremendous force to create tremendous results if you just let compounding work. And the classic example is Warren Buffett. His skill as an investor is undeniable, sure, but his real secret, he's been a good investor since he was literally a child.
Like time. It's the time factor.
It's almost entirely the time factor. Get this, $84.2 billion of his $84.5 billion net worth was accumulated after his 50th birthday.
Wow. That really been set in perspective. After 50.
The vast majority came from returns compounding on returns over decades. Skill matters, but time is the powerhouse. And that connects directly to another crucial point. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy.
Okay, they're different.
Very different skill sets. Housel says there are a million ways to get rich, luck, risk, inheritance, whatever, but there's really only one way to stay wealthy.
Which is?
Some combination of frugality and paranoia.
Frugality and paranoia. Sounds a bit intense.
Maybe, but think about it. Staying wealthy is about survival. Think of Jesse Livermore, the famous trader, made billions in the 1929 crash.
A legend.
But he kept taking huge risks, was always in a hurry, as Housel puts it. He lost it all multiple times and eventually took his own life. He got wealthy but couldn't stay wealthy. Compare that to Buffett again. A huge part of his success is what he didn't do.
Like what?
He didn't get carried away with debt. He didn't panic and sell during market crashes. He didn't burn himself out. He just survived. He stayed in the game.
Endurance.
Endurance is the key to staying wealthy. Getting rich might be a sprint. Staying wealthy is a marathon, often a slow, cautious one.
And that idea of endurance, of surviving the inevitable bumps, fits perfectly with another concept. Tails, you win.
Yeah, this is fascinating. It's about the extreme outliers in investing.
How so?
Housel points out that in any broad collection of investments, like the stock market, a small number of events can account for the majority of outcomes.
The big winners drive everything.
Pretty much. He cites data like 40% of companies in the Russell 3000 index basically imploded, lost 70% of their value, and never recovered.
40%. That sounds terrible.
It does. But the overall index still increased like 73-fold since 1980.
How is that possible?
Because a tiny fraction, maybe 7% of the companies, were such massive winners outperforming by huge margins that they more than made up for all the losers.
The tails wag the dog.
Exactly. Tails, you win. So the lesson for you listening isn't necessarily about picking those huge winners, because that's incredibly hard.
So what is the lesson?
It's that you can be wrong, even often wrong, and still do really well over time. Good investing isn't necessarily about earning the highest returns, Housel writes.
Okay.
It's about earning pretty good returns that you can stick with and which can be repeated for the longest period of time.
So consistency and staying invested matters more than hitting home runs.
Absolutely. Let the winners run, accept the losers, and just stay in the game. Now, if wealth isn't just about stuff and compounding takes time, what's the real point? Housel argues money's greatest intrinsic value is
Let me guess. Freedom.
freedom. Nailed it. Specifically, the ability to control your time.
That feels intuitively right.
And research backs it up. Study after study shows that having a strong sense of controlling one's life is a more dependable predictor of positive feelings of well-being than any of the objective conditions of life.
More than income or house size or anything.
More than almost anything else measurable. Having control over what you do, when you do it, and with whom you do it.
So saving money isn't just for buying a house or retiring.
No, it's fundamentally about buying time and options. Even a small amount of savings changes things.
How so?
It might mean you can take a few sick days without worrying about the paycheck. A bit more means you're not terrified of your boss because you have a cushion if you need to leave.
It gives you agency.
Exactly. Agency over your own life. That's the ultimate return on savings.
Okay, so control is key,
Hmm.
which logically leads to needing some sort of safety net, right? This idea of room for error.
Precisely. You have to plan on your plan not going according to plan because it won't.
A life happens.
Life always happens. And having room for error, a buffer, isn't about being pessimistic or overly conservative.
It's not about missing out.
No, Housel argues it's about endurance. It's what allows you to survive the unexpected setbacks so you can stay in the game long enough for compounding to do its thing.
Like the poker player not betting everything.
Exactly. Even with good odds, you hold something back. Bill Gates did this at Microsoft early on.
What did he do?
He insisted they always have enough cash in the bank to cover a full year's payroll, even if zero revenue came in.
A whole year? Wow.
Yeah. That wasn't conservatism, it was ensuring survival. It protects you from those field mice, as Housel calls them, the small, unpredictable things that can nibble away at your plans until they collapse.
You need that buffer for the unknowns.
You absolutely do. It's the shock absorber for life's bumpy road. And speaking of unknowns, one of the biggest is ourselves.
I'm in.
Housel emphasizes that you'll change. Long-term planning is incredibly hard because the person you are today making the plan is not the same person who will be living with the consequences in 10, 20, 40 years.
Our goals change, our desires change.
Everything changes. What seems vitally important at 18 might be irrelevant at 40. What you dream of at 40 might seem foolish at 60.
So rigidly sticking to a decades-old plan might be a mistake.
It can be. You risk becoming a prisoner of your past self's decisions, falling into the sunk cost fallacy.
Trying to justify past efforts even if they no longer make sense.
Right. So his advice isn't to abandon planning, but to build in flexibility. He recommends aiming for balance at every point in your working life.
Balance like.
Moderate savings, not extreme. Moderate free time. A moderate commute. Avoid extremes that you might later regret deeply when your priorities shift.
It's about creating a sustainable past that can adapt.
Exactly. It encourages endurance and reduces the chance of future regret, acknowledging that our future selves are effectively different people.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Individual perspectives, the danger of more, true wealth, compounding, survival, freedom, room for error, and acknowledging change.
It's a rich tapestry of ideas.
Absolutely. So, boiling it down, what does this all mean for you, the listener? Housel is careful not to give specific financial advice, right?
Very careful. He stresses that, like a doctor needing to understand a specific patient, financial advice needs to be personal. No one can tell you exactly what to do with your money.
You have to figure out what works for you.
You do. But the book provides incredibly powerful frameworks and principles to help you do that. Maybe we can recap some of those key takeaways.
Yeah, let's distill them. First up, humility and compassion.
Definitely. Go out of your way to find humility when things are going right, and forgiveness, compassion when they go wrong. Remember luck and risk.
Good one. Second, less ego, more wealth. Focus on the unseen.
Right. Wealth is what you don't see. Build that.
Increase your time horizon. Think long term.
Crucial. Time is the magic ingredient in compounding. Give it decades.
Be okay with things going wrong. Remember the tails win idea.
Yeah, accept imperfection. You don't need to be right all the time. Just right enough over time.
Use money to gain control over your time. That's its real value.
The ultimate goal. Freedom and autonomy.
Be nicer. Be less flashy. No one cares about your stuff as much as you do.
True. True wealth doesn't need to shout.
Save. Just save. Even without a specific goal in mind yet.
It's a hedge against uncertainty. It buys you options later.
Define the cost of success and be ready to pay it. View volatility as a price of admission.
Yes, see market downturns as a fee, not a fine you pay for doing something wrong.
Worship room for error. That buffer is critical.
It ensures endurance, which makes everything else possible.
And finally, define the game you are playing.
Don't get sidetracked by what others are doing if they have different goals or time horizons. Play your own game.
So what does this all mean? There isn't one single right answer when it comes to money, is there?
Not at all. Only the answer that works for you personally right now. And acknowledging that answer might change.
Right. And if the world is always surprising us, as Housel shows, and our own desires are always evolving, maybe the final question for you to think about is this. What hidden price are you currently paying in your financial life? Maybe stress, maybe lack of time, maybe chasing something you don't truly need that you've been mistaking for a fine, something you just have to endure.
That's a deep one.
And how am I redefining that, seeing it as a price you can choose not to pay, actually give you the ultimate financial freedom?